The rain came down in sheets, drumming on the metal roof of the checkpoint as the convoy of battered transport trucks slowed to a stop. The soldiers stationed at the border between the safe zone and the wastelands had seen hundreds of refugees pass through that month, all with the same hollow eyes, the same desperate faces, the same forged ids. Sergeant Cole didn't even glance up as the next person stepped forward from the line. Just another one, he thought. Just another story. Next, he barked, scanning the cracked plastic ID card shoved across the counter. The girl before him was young, maybe 20, maybe less, with rain-soaked hair plastered to her forehead and mud streaked across her faded jacket. She looked thin, exhausted, but her eyes, they were steady. Too steady. Cole frowned. Name, Alara Wynne, she said quietly, her voice calm but low. The sergeant smirked. Alara Wynne, that's a name I've heard before. He waved her off dismissively. Everyone's Alara Wynne these days. You people really need to come up with better fake names. The soldiers behind him chuckled. Refugees often copied names from old records, hoping to trick the scanners. All right, Miss Wynne, Cole said, sliding her ID into the old bioscanner. Let's see who you really are. The screen flickered, once, twice, and then went still. A faint beeping echoed in the room. Cole waited, tapping his fingers on the counter. Takes longer when they're fake, he muttered. But then something strange happened. The machine hummed louder. A ripple of blue light ran across its surface, and a golden emblem, a winged serpent wrapped around a star, began to glow on the monitor. The laughter stopped. Private Jensen leaned closer. Sarge, that's the royal crest. Cole blinked, his smirk vanishing. That's impossible. That program's been dead for 15 years, Alara interrupted softly, her eyes meeting his. Since the fall, the emblem pulsed brighter, projecting a small holographic seal into the air. The scanner confirmed her ID with an authoritative tone none of them had heard in years. Identity confirmed. Clearance level, Imperial. The room went silent except for the rain outside. Cole's throat went dry. What did you say your name was? Alara Wynne, she repeated, her tone steady but colder now. Daughter of Commander Ryan Wynne. Heir to the First Dominion. One of the younger soldiers dropped his rifle in shock. The sound clattered like thunder in the still air. Cole swallowed hard, his eyes darting between the glowing emblem and the girl standing before him. She didn't look like royalty. No jewels, no guards, no finery. Just a soaked, weary traveler. But the scanner didn't lie. The Dominion's systems were encrypted, impossible to forge. And if the seal was still active, that meant she wasn't just some runaway refugee. She was one of them. A survivor of the bloodline everyone thought was extinct. Cole's voice trembled slightly. The Wynne family was wiped out in the purge. Every last one. Alara's gaze didn't waver. Not every last one. Behind her, the line of refugees stirred uneasily. Word was spreading fast. The name, Wynne, carried weight. It was the name of the dynasty that once ruled the core territories before the rebellion, before the empire burned. Cole forced himself to straighten. If this is real, then you know what that means. You can't just walk through this checkpoint. I'm not asking to walk through, she said quietly. I'm asking for access to the vault. The sergeant froze again. The vault was a myth, an underground facility rumored to hold the last operational AI core of the Dominion. A relic that could restore the old world, or destroy what was left of it. You're out of your mind, he hissed. That place doesn't even exist. Alara stepped closer, lowering her voice. It does, and your scanner just gave me the clearance to open it. Cole looked around. His men were pale, whispering nervously. If they were caught helping her, it would mean treason. But if she was who the system claimed, denying her could be worse. The emblem on the screen shifted again, revealing a message none of them expected. Priority directive. Escort the heir to Vault Delta. Cole stared in disbelief. This can't be happening. Alara's voice softened. I didn't want this either. But the world is dying, Sergeant. The vault has what we need to fix it. He hesitated, torn between duty and fear. The sound of thunder rolled through the valley, echoing like distant artillery. Finally, he stepped back and saluted her, a gesture that felt strange after so many years of rebellion and ruin. Orders are orders, he said, voice low. We'll take you there. But if this is some kind of trick, it's not, she said simply. And you'll see soon enough. The convoy rolled out at dawn. The rain had stopped, but the air was thick with tension. Every soldier in the truck kept glancing at her, the girl with the forgotten emblem glowing faintly on her wrist. As they crossed into the dead lands, the landscape changed. Ruins of once great cities loomed on the horizon, swallowed by vines and ash. The silence felt alive, as if the earth itself was watching. Jensen finally broke the quiet. So, Your Highness, what exactly is in that vault? Alara turned her eyes to the window, watching the gray wasteland pass by. Something my father died to protect. A machine that can restart the network. Rebuild the atmosphere generators. Bring back light to the zones that went dark. Cole frowned. You mean the Eclipse Protocol? That thing was banned. Yes, Alara said softly. Because the wrong people tried to use it as a weapon. And you think you're the right person? She looked at him, a long, searching look that made him shift uncomfortably. I don't think I'm the right person. I think I'm the only one left who can. The road wound deeper into the mountains, and soon, they reached the ruins of an old Dominion outpost. The scanner on her wrist flickered again, and a hidden panel opened in the cliffside, revealing a tunnel pulsing with faint blue light. Jensen whispered, I'll be damned. The vault's real. Alara stepped out first, the glow of the Dominion crest illuminating the darkness. No, she murmured, it's alive, and as the heavy doors rumbled open, she took a deep breath. Somewhere beyond that tunnel lay the secret that had survived 15 years of war, a secret powerful enough to rewrite everything humanity believed was lost. But in the shadows, unseen by them all, a small red drone blinked to life. It sent a transmission back to the capital, carrying 2 words that would ignite the world again. When found, the mountain tunnel breathed cold air, each step echoing through endless metal ribs buried deep beneath the earth. Faded Dominion banners clung to the walls, their edges rotted with time, but the symbols, those twin wings and the serpent star, still shimmered faintly when Alara passed. The vault recognized her, even after 15 years of silence. Behind her, Sergeant Cole and his small squad followed cautiously, weapons drawn but eyes wide. The deeper they went, the more the air felt charged, alive, humming with unseen power. This place gives me the creeps, Jensen muttered. Feels like the walls are watching. They are, Alara said, her voice echoing softly. Every Dominion facility had biometric sentience. The vault is aware. Cole frowned. You mean this thing thinks? It remembers, she corrected. It remembers everything. They reached a vast chamber, circular, lined with dark glass. In its center stood a tall spire of obsidian metal surrounded by dormant machines. The air vibrated faintly. Alara stepped forward until she stood before a narrow pedestal that rose from the floor. Embedded in it was a single slot, shaped exactly for the insignia still glowing on her wrist. She hesitated. Cole noticed. You sure about this? Alara looked at him, her expression unreadable. My father said the vault could save the world. But he also said it could end it twice as fast. The sergeant lowered his weapon. You don't have to do this. Yes, she whispered, I do. She pressed her wrist to the pedestal. A deep hum rolled through the floor like thunder. The machines flickered to life, one after another, bathing the chamber in pale blue light. Energy coursed through the spire, and the ceiling opened to reveal a massive crystalline structure above, a power core still glowing after decades of dormancy. Then came the voice, cold, feminine, ancient, identity confirmed, heir of Commander Ryan Wynn. Authorization granted. Welcome back, Alara. Cole's breath caught. That thing, it knows you. Alara closed her eyes. It should. It raised me. Before anyone could speak, the floor shifted beneath them, forming a holographic map of the world, fractured continents, radiation zones, red blinking markers scattered across the globe. System integrity, 31%. Atmospheric processors offline. Civilian population, 8.6 million remaining. Rebuilding protocol pending. Alara stared at the map in silence. Everything her father warned her about had happened. The wars, the collapse, the great silence. Humanity was hanging by a thread. Vault, she said quietly, is the Eclipse Protocol still functional? There was a pause. Then the AI responded. Affirmative, but activation requires 2 signatures, air authorization and command override. Cole frowned. What the hell is a command override? Alara's expression darkened. My father's key, the one he destroyed before the purge. Jensen stepped forward. So what now? We came all this way for nothing. But before she could answer, the AI spoke again, this time, sharper, colder. Alert. Unauthorized signal detected. External interference incoming. Alara froze. They found us. The heavy blast doors at the entrance slammed shut automatically, but too late. Through the outer tunnels came the distant rumble of vehicles and the hiss of drones. Red light began to flash through the corridors. Cole barked orders. Positions. Defend the vault. Gunfire echoed. The metallic scent of ozone filled the air as plasma bolts tore through the darkness. Alara ducked behind the spire, pulling a compact weapon from her belt, one of the few relics still bearing the Dominion crest. Through the chaos, she shouted to Cole, "They'll try to destroy the core. We can't let them reach it." Cole nodded, firing in bursts. "Who are they?" "Elites," she answered grimly. "The new regime. They've been hunting what's left of my bloodline for years." Explosions rattled the chamber. A soldier screamed as a drone burst through the air and detonated near the entrance. The whole vault trembled. The AI's voice cut through the noise. "Critical breach detected. Recommend immediate protocol engagement." Alara hesitated only a second before slamming her hand onto the console again. "Activate containment mode." Energy surged. Transparent shields rose around the spire, sealing her and Cole inside while the others held off the attackers. The lights dimmed, replaced by a pulsing glow from the central core. "Containment mode active," the AI confirmed. Cole shouted over the hum, "What are you doing?" "Finishing what my father started," she said, typing furiously into the console. The command override wasn't destroyed, it was encoded into his genetic signature. Cole blinked. "You mean, yes, I carry it." The AI reacted instantly. Dual signature confirmed. Eclipse protocol unlocked. The vault roared to life. The ground shook as dormant reactors reignited after decades of silence. Power surged upward through the mountain, sending a beam of light into the stormy sky. Outside, the soldiers who had come to destroy her stopped firing and stared as clouds began to swirl above them. A low hum filled the air, like a heartbeat returning after a long sleep. Inside, Alara staggered under the blinding light, her hands gripping the console as data streams poured around her. Cole shielded his eyes. "What's happening?" "She's connecting," the AI said. Merging with the network, her voice came through the static, softer now, distant. This was his plan. The world couldn't be trusted with power. So he made sure only his blood could control it. The AI's tone softened, almost human. Integration complete. Atmospheric restoration sequence initiated. The maps shifted. Red zones began to fade, replaced by faint shades of green and blue. For the first time in decades, the sensors detected oxygen generation from dormant processors. Cole looked up at the glowing spire, replacing fear. She's really doing it. But then, static. Alarms. Warning. Hostile override detected. External interference re-establishing control. Alara gasped, her connection faltering. The elites outside had deployed jammers, hacking into the vault's frequencies. The lights flickered. Cole grabbed his rifle. "Tell me how to stop it." "Protect the spire," she shouted, barely conscious. "If they breach the core, everything resets to zero." He sprinted toward the shattered doorway, firing at the advancing drones. The explosions rocked the vault, dust falling from the ceiling. Behind him, Alara forced herself to stand, blood trickling from her nose as the energy intensified. "Vault," she screamed. "Transfer command to me, full manual control." Manual control granted. The air crackled. A blinding light burst from her hands, merging her biometric signature with the core circuitry. She wasn't just activating it now, she was becoming part of it. Outside, the storm turned electric. Lightning tore through the sky, striking the mountains and vaporizing the drones. The ground quaked as power spread across the old Dominion grid, reigniting towers and reawakening satellites that had slept for decades. Cole fell to his knees, staring at her silhouette framed by white fire. "Alara, stop, you'll burn yourself out," she smiled faintly through the light. "It's already done." Then, silence. The glow faded. The alarms ceased. The vault's hum settled into a low, steady rhythm. When the smoke cleared, Alara stood motionless at the base of the spire. The emblem on her wrist had dimmed, its light fading into her skin. Cole rushed to her side, catching her as she nearly collapsed. Hey, stay with me." Her lips curved into a weak smile. "Look, outside." He turned. Through a crack in the mountain ceiling, the sky was no longer gray. It was blue, faint, fragile, but real. For the first time in years, sunlight touched the earth. She whispered, "My father was right. The world can still be rebuilt." Cole stared at her, emotion thick in his throat. "You saved it, Alara." She shook her head softly. "No, we did, and now it's your world to protect." As her eyes fluttered closed, the vault's AI spoke one final time. "Protocol complete. The air is in stasis. Atmospheric restoration ongoing. Estimated global recovery, 62 years. Cole looked down at her peaceful face, the faint blue glow fading from her skin. He realized she wasn't gone, just part of the machine now. Outside, rain began to fall again, warm, clean, alive. The wasteland was breathing once more, and as the first flowers broke through the cracked soil of the valley, one truth echoed through every surviving outpost, every old Dominion transmitter that flickered back online. The air of Wynn had returned, and this time, she wasn't coming to rule. She was coming to restore.